Feeling confident with other people is a hard challenge for anyone. Personally, I used to derive a lot of confidence from the way I dressed, my friend group, my job, how much money I made. But despite those things having a real impact in how good I felt about myself, it always seemed to fall short when I really needed it. It's very easy to seem confident on paper, to feel confident when you're looking at yourself in the mirror, but the real test is really how you engage with other people. Like what happens when you're working at a coffee shop and you keep looking at that girl in the corner and maybe she even looks at you back and you wish you could just walk up to her and introduce yourself, but you can't. Or what happens on Thursday night when you wanted to go out but your friends don't want to go out anymore and you wish you could just go out by yourself but you're too self-conscious. And the thing is, if you look online, you're gonna find countless resources about how to be more confident, how to feel better about yourself, things you can do to sort of like improve your self-image. But personally, what I realized is that what changed the most from when I wasn't as confident to now is really not how I look at myself, but really how I look at other people. Welcome to Social Animal. My name is Ruben, and on this channel, I want to show you that everyone around you is a human being and you can talk to anyone. So a few years ago, after a lot of frustrations of not being able to talk to the people I wanted to meet, I decided that if I saw anyone I wanted to talk to, I would always go for it. And this goes way beyond your dating life. I mean, at a fundamental level, you have a human being in front of you, you want to talk to them, but you can't. And I just couldn't accept that. Now, like most things in life, it's much easier said than done. And even though I couldn't accept it, it was still very much part of my daily experiences. And in those moments, my natural reaction was somehow to try to convince myself that I was good enough and that I was worthy. But it never really worked that well. And so I started asking myself about what characterizes my best interactions. The one with your closest friends, some close family members, or even with some random people that you end up clicking with really well. And what I realized is that those interactions are not characterized by any sense of confidence. Like, I don't feel like a baller when I'm hanging out with my friends. I'm just relaxed, I'm at ease, I'm not thinking too much. I'm just enjoying the moment, right? And so what I realize is that if my best interactions are characterized by a sense of comfort, then shouldn't I try to emulate that instead of trying to cheer myself up to feel confident? And so I started to wonder, why do I feel the need to be more confident? What does that tell me about myself? Because usually you feel the need to be more confident when you perceive a challenge. So if I tell you that you have a very hard exam coming up, or you have a job interview, you're gonna wanna study until your perception of your own abilities match your perception of the challenge. And obviously there's other variables at play, like maybe your experience, like have you ever took an exam before, or what would happen if you actually fail the exam. But for the sake of this video, let's just focus on how you perceive the challenge. Because I think there is a risk that if you misperceive the challenge, if you think that the challenge is much harder than it actually is, then you're basically going to get stuck in that place where you never feel that you're good enough and you'll never feel able to go for it. And there I realized something. The more you think that people are different from you, the more you see a gap between you and other people, well, the harder it's going to be for you to cross that gap and feel comfortable or confident that you can actually connect with those people. When you see someone you don't know that you want to talk to, I think it's very easy to get blinded by their beauty, their status, or whatever your mind is focusing on. But so as I was in those situations, I started asking myself, well, what if I was childhood friend with this person? Like, what if we played in the sandbox when we were 2 years old? I mean, I'm sure you have childhood friends who turned out to be gorgeous or very successful, and you still see them as who they really are, and that's probably why you're still friends.
Don't treat me like a celebrity. Always know
you're a human being first.
Yes.
We get so blinded and we feel so inadequate that we try really hard to overcompensate to feel worthy. And while money, looks, fame is great, I mean, who's going to complain about that? If you don't relate to people at a fundamental enough level, it's not going to bring you anywhere. I mean, the world is filled with good-looking, wealthy people who are lonely and can't connect with anyone. When you look at a kid running around and saying hi to people, do you think they do it out of confidence? Oftentimes, you see something that you want in your life and you see an obstacle in the middle. And so the natural reaction is to ask yourself, how can I overcome that obstacle? But I think that sometimes the right mindset is to realize that there is no obstacle in the first place. Over the years, I realized that the way you approach a problem tells you way more about yourself than the problem or the solution. And so, if you think you're about to fight a dragon, then obviously you're going to come ready with weapons and shield and whatnot. But what if you realize that the person in front of you could have been your childhood friend? It doesn't mean that everyone's going to like you. For that, you would need to be liking everyone. But it means that you can approach those interactions with ease and, from a good place.
Do not try and bend the spoon. That's impossible. Instead, only try to realize the truth.
What truth?
There is no spoon.
There is no spoon?
Then you'll see that it is not the spoon that bends. It is only yourself.
So next time you find yourself in a situation where there is someone next to you want to talk to, but you feel out of confidence, the question you ought to ask yourself isn't, how can I feel more confident to be at ease? But rather, how can you change your perspective and realize you don't need any confidence? Now, as we talk about this, maybe that you understand it at an intellectual level, but then actually applying it in your life is a whole different problem. And personally, this is where I found that cultivating my self-expression in my daily life, talking to people when I wanted to talk to them, was very valuable. And one of the biggest value that I got from that was that, most of your life you have met people through very strong context, school, friends of friends, work, and we use those contexts to relate to one another. Oh, we both have the same teacher, we're on the same team, we have lunch in the same building, but when you want to talk to someone out and about, like a complete stranger, I think it really forces you to ask yourself much more fundamental question about what you have in common with people and, what is the common shared human experience. I talk more about this in this other video, but for today that's it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you've enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.